Hello guys, we're not sleeping today, we're in Kippen with my old mate Carl, who's got a cough, and he's got a few stories for us. So yeah, he's taking us down this back lane here while he's
got the scarf trap.
Got his scarf. It's right through there. There you go. Sorted. And we're just discussing how interesting it is to live in a converted church. Is it haunted? You know? Do they know yet? It looks like it's just fairly been done up, isn't it? Yeah.
Houses. All stolen.
We've got an artist in there.
This is the old oldest road. Back in the day, with the castle into Kippen.
Some road, eh?
Well, it dated, apparently, my mate Murray Cook reckons that it could date, we're talking Roman.
Alright.
The Roman, underneath a Roman road or Roman pathway.
Yeah.
And these cobbles, when the buildings started appearing, when it became a main route in and out of Kippen, they added that. This has been added obviously in the 18th century. Well, this was like the main road in and out of Kippen before they did the main road.
Yeah.
And if you can see there, look, that tells you.
The Black Bull.
This is the original pub.
Alright, so this is the original pub.
Yeah. Now,
ooh, you've even got a logo above the door.
the story goes, right? Look, story time. Remember Rob Roy McGregor?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, his son Robin Org McGregor was an outlaw like himself, living on the McGregor name. And the story goes that he, well, whichever way you look at it really, kidnapped a lady called Jean Kay, whose father owned this house. She was a widow of 19, and apparently a husband who died was quite a wealthy landowner, and she left her quite a lot. So obviously she was rich pickings for the likes of Robin McGregor. And the story goes that from one of these windows, these top windows there, they eloped together. And others believe that he kidnapped her and forced her to marry her. And eventually, of course, Robin McGregor was actually caught, hung, and for his many crimes, he was hung in Edinburgh. Now this is where he supposedly eloped with a lady called Jean Kay, who was, like I say, 19, and she's actually buried in the graveyard, which is behind these houses. We'll show you.
Oh yeah, you can see the...
She's the lady who haunts this graveyard, apparently.
Oh, interesting.
So whichever window it was, people believe he kidnapped her because he's such a rogue.
Interesting, this, eh?
Yeah.
This is old.
Yeah. See there, the old blacksmith?
Coach house.
See there, the old blacksmith?
Yeah. Unusual buildings. Also very typical of these sort of small villages.
Unfortunately, because it was that neglected, the Heritage Trust from Kippen Heritage Trust, the Village Heritage Trust, are actually working on it, cutting grass and doing things to it. The actual church is in the tower, it's falling to pieces, so
Oh man.
they managed to get some money and doing it every so often. I think it's one Sunday in the month, all the villagers get together and actually cut the grass and just generally keep it tidy. And one of these graves in here is Jean Kay, who kidnapped, eloped with Robin Organ McGregor.
Wow.
And she's set to haunt this graveyard.
And we can't get in, can we?
No, it's afraid it's locked.
I'm gonna get a wee bit of shottage.
Some of the graves date
if I
back.
can.
Some of the graves date back to the 13th, 14th century.
Unfortunately,
It's
I
said,
won't be able to see
it's
inside.
said that the Earls of Montrose, Monteith, were buried there.
Yeah.
And the guy who gave William Wallace away, apparently he's buried in there. John Lord of Monteith is buried in the cemetery.
Wow.
Whether it's true or not, I don't know.
Have you been in the cemetery?
Not for a long time. It's had quite a lot to do with the Galbraiths, who were the main clan in this area. It's there. They built the church that dates back from the 15th century, but it's been left neglected for so long, it's virtually fallen apart.
Right.
And the saying goes that on the death of foretelling the death of a Galbraith, the church bells rings on its own. That's premonition of there's going to be a death in the Galbraith clan. So eventually they took the bell out.
So is this a Galbraith
it's a very old
village?
Get
We'll see if we can get around, because it would be good to be able to see if I could actually get a few more shots of inside of there.
There is sort of the actual Galbraith, a couple of Galbraiths been buried inside.
Yeah.
The church, but I don't know how to put it in. We've not really researched this village side of things.
We're going off-road, folks.
So up there.
This is the lowest part.
Look across there, you can see into.
Ah, right, okay.
It's quite ruinous, it's quite neglected. They've actually done quite a lot to it. Actually, looks like they've actually put the hay bell back in. But obviously it's a lot bigger than what it was there.
Oh, wow.
I'd love to ask these people in these houses what's it like at night.
Yeah, you're kind of looking straight onto it, aren't you?
Absolutely. I'll have to sneak over in the early hours and do a little bit of a spirit box session inside that church. Yeah.
That's what we're all about, folks.
But it's quite unique, and it's very, very old. Like I say, some graves date back from the 14th, 15th century. And
Yeah,
it's relatively small as well, because back in the day it was only a small village, you see. And then when the population explosion happened, they've actually moved the graveyard. Well, it's a cemetery now over the other side, which is a lot bigger, a lot more modern. But it's a shame they've closed it. Mind you, they've left it so long it's just neglected. And obviously health and safety.
Yeah.
Even the graves as well are quite, should we say, loose to the ground. As you can see.
Yeah, you'd have to watch your footing in certain areas.
Yeah.
Right, folks. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's carry on. Getting trapped in the bush here.
The old village shop there.
Is there an actual shop in? I suppose there's shops here.
You know what, down the, I can tell you a story.
Yeah.
Where when I came across, a friend of mine who was a medium or a sensitive, came across Roman soldiers.
Oh, right.
Well,
Well, I'll tell you one thing, right? This is just me. So, once I crossed a certain point past Stirling and I'm coming onto here, I'm gonna hit the straight, and it's big open fields, there's a bit of woodland on either side. There's an atmosphere. This whole area up to this point has a weird atmosphere.
Actually, there's remnants further down the next village along the Clivey that they found Stone Age settlement remains of. So obviously there was habitat, you know, within this area from day one, from the prehistoric times.
I don't know if it's the weather or what.
Well, that's the raw energy, isn't it? The rain. I always believe that.
It just set a mood as I was driving here.
Even the cobbles, you can just picture the horses. You know, they click clock on the cobble streets. Just think of how busy it must have been. You've got a blacksmith there, you've got a shop there. It must have been a busy area. And you've got the pub just there.
You can literally imagine it, you know. I could imagine a horse and cart coming up here, or some horses.
Yeah. You can still actually, if you look in there, you can actually still see the remnants of it.
So it says, what is it? Oh, so it's it is marked there.
Village Smithy, yeah.
My dad always fancied being a blacksmith. He's very good with metal. There's the original up there.
It's like this, it keeps originality. You know, parts of the village.
It's got that crow sound to it. That crow sound to it. That's where they hung people, you know. That's where they're picking the bones of the dead.
The old coach house there. face it, you know, you needed the horse-drawn carriages, you needed a blacksmith, you needed somewhere for people to stay. So you've got the building for pubs here, rest houses, the church just there. People lived in the village.
Many of the ones I've seen have been have had large archways, you know, for the carriages to go in.
Yeah. Obviously, it's been lost during the course of the years. You know, the house has been renovated and people put their own stamp on the building. So that sometimes the character's lost within a building. But good situation like this is that it's still there. I mean, you can see the brickwork's totally changed there. Now, obviously, was that a bigger door? Was that an entranceway to something? Could that have been the barn area, the stables?
Yeah, it's definitely been filled in.
Yeah.
Collapsed at some point.
And you can see.
In fact, you could probably say this could have been an open area.
You can see where the doorway's been. They've adapted a window now.
Yeah.
So obviously these were your little cottages, your little work cottages. Just a little, it's like a little quaint village. All your community in one space in one area. I mean, look at that there, the actual doorway. I mean, that's proper stone. So look at the stone for the lintel. Oh, it's been adapted to use that, and the windows above it as well.
Yeah, it's not something we do these days, that's for sure.
The village pub. Yeah, so like I say, there's parts of this that take back to the Roman era.
Their garden.
There's the gardens of the
Be a bit nosy.
Blackpool. So whether that was courtyard with stables. Obviously these are the more modern houses now.
Yeah. Fun driving out of this every day. There he goes.
And that's without you drinking.
Exactly. That was a handbrake turn. What have we got here?
Slate.
Fine slate. Yeah, very fine slate there. A particular colour. This stuff I'm used to seeing. I used to take a bit of slate. If I find slate tiles, I'll pinch a few. Often take them for a back garden or...
This is the sort of thing that I think is absolutely fantastic. You're looking at a wall like this, you look at the wall, every stone is a different shape and a different size, and yet it's all matched together and made it, no, I wouldn't say 100% level, but level on a certain extent. I mean, they do it now in a village near me, and I just think it's an amazing trade how they do that. Because some of them, there's no cement at all on some of them. Obviously some are renovated and repaired, so the easiest option is to shove a stone in there with a little bit of cement around it, but these, how they keep the strength as well when they're not, there's no sort of, you know, cement in them to keep them, you know, keep them strong. I mean, every stone is different. I mean, I was telling you that time, the village near me, that farmer who you're walking around and you see Roman artifacts in it, and you think, where's he got that from?
You've got to take us there.
Yeah.
We need to see this and we'd like to know where he's getting the stuff from.
Well, he has quite a lot of sheep, and obviously sheep, you need to pen the sheep in.
Not with the Roman artifacts, that's for sure.
And he's getting a source of stone from somewhere, and some of the situations are that you think to yourself, that looks Roman. Where's he got that from? And every time you see him, like he fell out with me once because I asked him where he got the stones from, and he wouldn't tell me, he wouldn't divulge his source where they got them from. And eventually I had a word with his son, and I told his son saying, listen, he needs to stop. Wherever he's sourcing the stones from, they're very much archaeological gems, and he needs to stop because wherever he's getting the stones from, well, it is an ancient monument, let's face it. And there's not many Roman villas in this area that are recorded.
Yeah.
So it must be an unrecorded Roman villa that he's sourcing the stone from and using it for his bloody wall.
Yeah.
saying it's ridiculous.
You can't tell the old folks.
You can't know because he's been doing it for. Looking at the wall, he's been doing it for X amount of years, and as soon as
they're just the same as the people that existed in the past and that used all of this from somewhere else.
Yeah.
This whole place has probably been built from somewhere else at some point.
Well, you just look at the stones, they're all different shapes and size, different colours. You know, where are they getting them from? Obviously, the person who's built this wall back in the day must have had a source of stones. He didn't care where he got them from. He just robbed them from anywhere. Maybe a derelict house.
It is funny because you say, like, where does the stones come from? If you go out here, you wander around here, you ain't finding no stones.
No.
There ain't no stones to find.
All they can is an abandoned cottage or abandoned wall that somebody's left.
Yeah, it has to be something that no one's found. No one knows an abandoned wall and an abandoned bit. You know, you're not taking it off of somebody else's land.
Well, that's it. You see a lot of it when the dissolution of the monasteries, and your Catholics and your Protestants, and King Henry VIII started closing down all these Catholic churches. Obviously, they were left to wreck and ruin.
Yeah,
so
people
the easy
just
option was to pinch the stone.
Advantage of them.
Yeah,
and just was like,
well, to make a wall or to make a house.
No one there anymore. They're all left. And if they left, and it was built in a certain time, people didn't really think of it in that kind of way.
No,
I imagine people were God-fearing. But I mean, certainly, did they feel guilty about stealing from a Catholic church?
A prime example I was telling you about the Mars Walk in Stirling, that palace that was built for the Earl of Mar, the Earl of Mar. He was, when Mary Queen of Scots was doing a thing, trying to get support. He was in charge of the country. Yeah, he was second in command, and he was looking after James, the little infant James VI. And of course, the easy option then, when he's building his palace, where did he get it from? Cambus Kenneth Abbey. And of course, that's where people, hang on a minute, I'm sure I've just seen a monk in the ruins of that building. Yeah. Well, why? It's not a religious building. Why is that? Because he's sourcing the stone to fill up his castle. And like I've said to you, the stone wall theory, is there something in that stone, the energy? He's effectively nicked the Blockbuster tapes, you know? Exactly. So you're moving a bit of stone from one place to another place, and next thing you know, I mean, it's happened on numerous occasions. People who are building, renovating a house, and they've sourced the wood from an old ship. Yeah. And they put it in the house, whether it be the part of the ceiling or whatever, or even the stairs. And next thing you know, they see a ghost of a sailor walking down the stairs or in their room. I do wonder if it's one of two things. It's a disturbance that switches on an event, or whether it's it was literally a haunted stone tape thing that has been taken and is just playing the opposite direction or wherever it's only recorded, isn't it? Yeah. I think Richard Felix once said that he believes that 60% of hauntings are recordings. Yes. But it's the other 40. Well, often there's many reports of people seeing something, calling to it and not getting an answer as if they didn't even see them. Yeah, correct. Oh, what we got down here? We've got some lammies. You can hear them. Wonder if any of them will come up. They probably won't, but you never know. Simon, Dr. Lee. Oh, here we go. There's the protector right there. How you doing? Eh? That's okay. Don't be afraid. Oh, they're bonny, aren't they? Look at these. Eh? In white ones. Men and yep. Different breeds, different creeds, everything. It's such a shame you have to eat them. Lamb chops, mint sauce. Not my watch. It's okay, guys. I'm not particularly a fan of lamb. Remember back in the day when you was younger, that cartoon about the was it a sheepdog? They used to look after the lambs, and the root wolf would try to pinch the dog. Oh yeah. And the lamb would say, "It's the wolf! It's the wolf!" You coming? You coming? You're gonna be brave. No, mummy will be gone. You know, don't go over there. As you can see there, military road there. 18th century military road. That's the main road. When I was coming in, there was another road that said 3 minutes slower, which was straight on or just turn off. Right, I won't take you down there because it's pretty much the same, right?
Yeah.
But you got to remember, I'll tell you a story now. A friend of mine we worked with was in his garden, similar to what he's here, which faces the back of here.
So he lives here?
Yeah, it's further just round, it's about 500 yards just down the road. And was renovating his garden. He moved into a house and he had an old greenhouse that he wanted getting rid of. So they had to strip it down, bloody everything, but we didn't realise it was a concrete. But anyway, cut a long story short, we're chipping away at that, and a friend of his turned up. So of course we had summer's day having a beer, and of course we started talking. Paul introduced me to his friend, who was a tutor in Glasgow University. Well, he studied science, and he was an acting druid, if I remember rightly.
All right.
And he had that psychic or some sort of sensitive ability. He was telling me about it. And we just bouncing things off each other, just talking really. And all of a sudden he got over a beer. All of a sudden, tables and chairs and all that shenanigans. All of a sudden he got up and came to the fence, similar to that there now. And he started looking. He went like that, and he looked at me and he says, "Can you see that?" So I said, "Oh, what can you see?" He said, "I've just seen going past. It looked like sandals on Roman soldiers walking down this, which was further down, walking down this track." I said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, I've just seen them." He said, did you hear them? I said, "No." He said, "I could hear them marching, but I could only see them from their knees down. I could only see the sandals."
And you were there at the time?
I was there. I couldn't see anything.
You didn't see anything.
My friend Paul was there as well. I couldn't believe it. And he described it to me. He said, "Yeah, the sandals." He said, "Oh look." He said, "It made me. I had to laugh to myself because a lot of them, the feet were dirty.
Yeah.
And I seen some hands coming down and wiping them as they're marching down. And yet, and he marched so far, then he disappeared. Now I didn't realise the history of this pathway until Murray Cook, Stirling's #1 archaeologist, told me about it. It used to be. He's found remnants of a Roman pathway, and he's found Roman pottery just further down this trackway. So it dates back to Roman times, which I thought was a good, coincidence.
Yeah.
Call it coincidence.
Well.
Yeah, he was adamant that he saw them.
Oh well.
For a split second.
I want to go down now.
And of course.
Do you want to go?
Yeah.
Let's go.
And of course, it takes me back to Harry Martindale and York Treasure House.
I'm going to give you the camera for a second because I do want to get a picture of the lambs, like with a proper camera. So I'll let you.
I might turn it around and showing you.
Yeah,
are you going to be feeding them?
No, I just want the picture. Send the picture.
The laminator. Have you got no grass to give them, Simon?
No, nothing. They'll be interested. They'll be interested to see you, but they won't. They won't come over unless you get them all.
Yeah.
Well, apparently Celtic are playing Dundee United.
I believe so, yeah, and it's if they win, they've won the title, I believe.
Yep, and I'm just being told that you Dundee United fans are throwing oranges on the pitch. Oh me.
Football rivalry. I back in the day I used to go to the Manchester derbies, United City, Blackburn, Bolton, Wigan, and teams like that. But it seems to take another. How can I put it? It's more mental. The Scottish rivalry, especially between Celtic and Rangers. I mean, it's hatred, and I've seen many a grown man near enough come to blows in talking about, are you blue nose? Or are you?
Half of them are not. There's a historic
these best friends
rivalry.
These best friends not talking to each other because of what the
some people
previous
just
day's result.
they go a bit too far, don't they?
I mean, obviously it dates back the Catholics and Protestants, doesn't it? It dates back.
Me being a Celtic fan is equivalent of being, I don't know, someone from another country. Let's say I lived in Pakistan, I'm Muslim and I'm a Celtic fan. same thing.
Yeah.
You know,
But
it's
even when you're talking to the people who support the rival Celtic Rangers,
Yeah.
I mean, they even bring the children up. Nobody's allowed in the house who's like a Celtic fan's not allowed. Can't bring a Rangers fan into the house.
I know many, you know, Hearts fans that are from Catholic families.
But it seems to take the Glasgow.
And,
but the Glasgow one teach to take a.
and the other way around
Yeah.
for Hibs in Edinburgh. So it's the same. It's
You want to walk to where the house where we saw it, or?
yes, I do actually.
Yeah.
We might as well. We're here. It's a beautiful view up here, and even if it's not particularly sunny, it's not pissing or rain.
Well, if you look at it, the village of Kippen is built. It is like a hillside, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a nice bit of air here.
So strategically, it's not surprising. Maybe there was a Roman garrison here. I don't know, because the Romans went as far as base then, didn't they, with the Antonine Wall?
Yeah.
And after that, you guys just were too barbaric.
Yeah.
So they stopped the wall there, and that only lasted what 40 years before they retreated back into England.
You'd only get so
Yeah,
far
Hadrian's
past the
Wall,
wall,
yeah.
you'd bump into a tribe.
Oh, that's it.
You'd be
Look-
attacked,
Look at the terrain.
murdered.
Mountainous, yeah.
God, you might even get, you know, taken into the actual clan, you know. And they weren't really clans then.
This is where. This is where we saw the Roman soldiers.
Ah, okay.
This is the garden itself. This is my friend's garden. We've got the village hall just there. And this is where we were.
So where was he looking then to see them?
We had the greenhouse was virtually in the corner here.
So it comes down.
Yeah, and it was the actual tables and chairs was just past that tree there.
Ah,
And all of a sudden they got up. So we saw them from here to where you are.
uh-huh.
They just disappeared, he said.
So this ground might have been higher then,
Possibly.
because they could have been walking along here.
Obviously, these stones here were here for a reason. These have been built into this.
Funny if you saw a bunch of hippies with sandals on.
Yeah. Except that when we saw the dirt, as detail, we saw the dirt on the feet. And one actually lifted his up and shook his dirt away. But like I say, from the knees down, you're only seeing the knees down. That energy,
Yeah.
maybe over the course of time, maybe you can see full Roman soldiers. But as the energy starts to wear down, like a battery,
Yeah.
maybe it gets gradual until eventually you might just hear them.
You do have some solid rock here.
Yeah. Is that natural, or would you say that's put there for a reason?
I think that's natural.
But you've got quite a bit of stones.
Yeah, you could go digging in your back garden, it could all be suddenly flat and you'll just hit one giant stone. Almost like a meteor. I think this is what happened to my dad's back at one point. He hurt his back badly. That's a nice house.
I'd say what, about 6-7 years ago? When I
See,
first
there's a
moved there.
path there. You know, going up the side, just behind you. Which is interesting. Can you walk it? Well, you can walk it. Yeah. What do you think, folks? Roman soldiers?
We could hear them as well. That's what made him get up. You could hear them marching. Because even though they had sandals, they had hob boots on, didn't they? They had like hobnails on the soles to make them last. But I don't know, like didn't really ask him if what was the surface like that they were walking on. Was it, you know, were they raised when they were walking, or were they actually walking on the surface?
Were you doing any of this stuff at the time?
I was just involved with going to ghost hunts, yeah, but I wasn't really involved in any group. Something that's always interested me. And of course, I worked with the guy who owns the house. Well, I worked with him for so long, and unfortunately, he's left I'm no longer seeing him now. He works for the rail. It was just a one-off thing in the summer. I volunteered to help him move it because he's telling me that he's struggling to move it because it's quite old and twisted. And so I said, well, I'm not doing anything. I'll come down. And he invited a friend of his down from the University of Glasgow, he told me he's a druid, and he had psychic and mediumistic abilities. And I was just talking to him about it. It's something that I had, like you know yourself, something that always interested me, mediumship, how people can see things and other people can't. You know, is it something to do with, you know, your mindset or, you know, things like that? And I was just talking to him about it, and he just got up and got to the gate and smiled to himself. And at first I thought it was mental, as you do, because you can't see it, I can't see it.
Yeah.
And he was.
Yeah, we're coming up here. What time of day?
It was during the day. I guess I'd say afternoon.
Afternoon,
yeah.
Weekday, weekend.
Yeah, it was a weekend, a Saturday.
Weekend, a Saturday.
Sunny Saturday it was. We were on our t-shirts and shorts.
So, round about this time of year, maybe a bit closer to June, July.
Yeah, it was summertime. Yeah, it was quite warm. What triggers it off though?
Yeah, somebody's well shooting in the background there.
Yeah,
probably clay pigeons shooting or something.
I think it's the what's it, birds, isn't it? A lot of farmers hire their fields out for people to come from the cities to shoot them. You know, the gaming birds. Right?
They shoot the lower classes.
Well, you
Run across the
field. You find a lot
there.
of them are ex-generals and people like that, you know, and have upper class society come down and have a load of wine,
yeah,
and try and aim a gun at a bird.
Great combination.
Yeah, that's it.
I need to check out the place again that I was with my mate David and Stuart in Fife. It was pretty good.
I know the stones, there's quite a lot of stones on the. What do you want to say? Are they natural or what they put there for a reason?
Well, that's what I'm wondering is how much has this been dug out over the years? What's still there? Because often.
I'm assuming back in the day it was a lot wider.
Yeah. And then on top of that, there is the fact that you know, a lot of the time it's lower. It's lower than this. So there's still about centuries of ground on top. I think it would go out that way.
What do you want to do now? Do you want to look for the cottage, or do you want to go mental detecting?
Mental detecting.
Yeah.
It is that, isn't it? What about this church that we're parked beside? What the church that we're parked beside? What's it like?
It's a very nice church, built around about 1880. That took over from the church that was after the Church of Scotland. They gave up that church due to, I think it had quite a lot of structural damage.
Yeah.
It needed a lot of work doing to it, and so the villagers chipped in and actually built a new church. It's very popular at you know, certain times, weddings, christenings, bar mitzvahs. One of the first churches I came into, took pictures of. The lady priest at the time, the minister, sorry, was very nice. She showed me around it. It's from America. Showed me around it. Had quite a bit of money spent on it. One minister covers, I think it's 3 different church villages, villages in the church. But yeah, it's a lovely church.
So you've asked the guy if we can go on to the land.
Well, I mentioned it to him on Friday. I bumped into him on Friday. And I said, what I'll do, I don't know yet, yay or nay.
Does he want pickings of the gold, is he?
Well, I told him I'll 25%. And I said to him, if we do decide to do it, I'll knock on. Because I don't know where, hopefully, his land covers, as we go down to the bottom, you'll go to Drovers Road. His land is on that bit. There's one up there, yeah. So, hopefully, as we go down that steep when we're going there, we might be able to, if his land's there, we can be able to.
It's how you feel. I mean, if you're not feeling well, you're not going to be wanting to be digging, but at least we can give it a crack.
Well, that's it.
We won't take long, we'll just go and have a wee look.
Speculate to accumulate, mate.
Yeah.
It might be a big gold.
We might find a spot that we can come back to.
I mean, you were saying that there's quite a lot of people that actually do that, especially in the summertime. There's 1 or 2 people doing it. And I asked him, and he said, yeah. So, like I said, we're not professionals, are we? We're just doing it for.
Yeah.
Of course,
we're just having a wee look.
Used to the machine as well.
See if it works.
Yeah.
I think my dad's tried it in his back garden, but that's as far as it goes.
Anything?
Hey, my dad, when we moved into that property, we stripped the garden. We literally stripped all stones out the garden, because that's how you want your garden to be if you're going to put down grass. A lot of people don't do that. So we stripped it, removed all the stones, and we moved piles back and forth. And so our soil is good up to a point, so we've cleaned everything out of there. But I'll stop the video here while I go to the back, and guys, we'll probably see if we can do a bit of metal detecting, see what happens with said metal detector. I've spoken to the farmer's wife, she knows we're here. We did find like a rim to a barrel earlier on when we were testing this thing out, just seeing how it worked. But I thought, you know, there's not much point sort of filming us sort of walking about in the field, because in reality there's nothing really happening, and it's kind of wet.
Yeah.
And we were going to call it and sort of like actually head to see if we could find some abandoned, possibly haunted farmhouse, but we'll see. But we're going to make it back because we've got a bit of a walk. Carl's, you know, giving us a bit of exercise today with his. There's no parking here, but he's just having a look along here. And you were just telling us the story. You were just saying about how, about, you know, burying your gold. Yeah, when you were during the Jacobite rebellion, if you were a loyal supporter of King George III, and the Jacobites were upon you. Of course, the Jacobites just wanted men and money. The first thing you do in your land is bury your gold or bury your jewels. And of course, when the rebellion was over, you do this. If you're a Jacobite sympathiser, you bury your gold from the redcoats. And if you're killed, obviously the secret's buried with you. Yep. And we're looking for those secrets. Yeah. We're looking for all this jewellery. But an interesting story that we found out while we were here was that they have had people doing metal detecting in the farmers' fields before. And we were way down there, and we just jumped that fence, that main road, and came up. And the wife of the farmer was saying that she found possibly it was like a grandfather's wedding ring, but it had been lost for like 50 years, which was found by the metal detector people. So, you know, this does work if you're in the right spot. Yeah. And in reality, what we're looking for is unknown battlefields, roads where people, old roads where people have walked for many years and may have dropped stuff. Even that Roman road that we were checking out is the sort of places that we've been wanting to look. We had a wee test, just to give you a wee test. I'll show you here on a nice bit of flat ground. Look, just about flattened his foot there. Can find it in my pocket somewhere. I'll just be 20p. That's basically what we're looking for.
Just keep us.
Yeah, that's your fee. But yeah, so we'll continue up here. If we find the gold, you'll know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll know when we start the video and we're at a beach somewhere. You know, we're on a cruise. What would be the first thing that you did if you made that kind of money? Eh? I mean, for one, I would buy a house.
Yeah, I think that's
Secondly, I'd probably get my mum and dad to sell their house and move them up closer to me, so I have to travel up north, although that means giving up, you know, the place that I do like visiting. But then at this point I could choose where I live, you know, so it doesn't really matter. And then I'd probably buy a new car. I would still work. People say that, yeah, you wouldn't work. Well, I probably would. And
your mum's notice.
yeah, and I'd go on holiday. I'd probably take my mum and dad on a cruise.
Forever.
So that's probably what we would do. I think that's most people's plan.
Yeah.
But we'll keep searching.
Just find it.
And yeah, and we'll catch you if we get somewhere different. See ya. Made it to the abandoned cottage because we couldn't find it, so we drove around. Wish we'd kind of filmed some of that because there was some fantastic scenery around there, but I might do that next time. We will find it. We need to put the spirit of the woman that died in that place to rest, if we get a chance, because apparently it's haunted, and she was a murder victim, and she was used as a you know, a scary bedtime story to scare kids, which is unfortunate. But yeah, more videos to come. I thought I'd just add to the end of this video, which I was supposed to do 2 days ago, a couple of days ago, and I just remembered right now, so I thought I'd just end it with a wee view from sunny Edinburgh at the back of the castle. So I'll see you next time. Bye.